What's going on, fellas? So today I'm going to explain to you what genuine burning desire is. What does it look like? How does it feel? And how to actually get a woman to the point where she has burning desire for you. Now, I want to address something. A lot of guys are going to tell you that genuine burning desire has to be natural. Meaning that if a woman doesn't have it for you within the first 5 seconds of meeting you, then it ain't real and she don't want you like that. Fellas, I'm going to tell you that's not true. And another thing I want to address is before I did say, I'm not going to lie, I did say that if a woman doesn't have burning desire for you, then you probably shouldn't be with her. Now, fellas, let me cross my T's and dot my I's. That statement was literally only for the guys who are on their purpose and you actually check all the boxes that woman wants as far as hypergamy. Because if that's the case, and you've been with her for a while and she still don't have burning desire for you, fellas, it's not a line. That's not the woman for you and she don't want you like that. So that statement was not for the guys who still live with their parents and got Cheeto dust on their shirt. So if you're not there yet, don't take it personal. Because the truth of the matter about burning desire is a woman's desire for you, whether that's initially, like I said, within the first 5 seconds, or whether that builds up over time or decreases over time. Her desire is only a mirror of your inner fire, your inner burning desire. Because if you don't have a desire, a hot, genuine burning desire for life and for your life, 9 times out of 10, she won't have it for you. Women follow your energy. Now, some of you guys have seen this before. All right, and this circle right here is you. All right, fellas, so what you need to have, I'm about to show you the game, all right? Because you can looks max, you can body game, you can do 100 push-ups every 5 minutes of the day, all right? And you can make a lot of money too, but that will not attract true desire from women. What women want and what makes women safe, which is, ironically, the lock and key to the cookie, all right, fellas? What makes women safe is you being sure about yourself. If you don't know who you are, don't expect her to be interested in finding out and learning and being more curious about who you are. All right, so you got to know yourself first. So this is you have to have this internal flame to where, one, you love yourself, you care about yourself, you're sure of yourself, and you're not carrying all this extra baggage, drama, trauma, confusion, and you're not scatterbrained and you're decisive. So like I said, everything I say today, don't take it personal, all right? Just take inventory. Now, what is burning desire? Let's make this quick. I want you guys to think about a simp. And just think about all the shit a simp does. All the shit a simp can do when he wants a woman who doesn't want him. He'll buy gifts. He'll be extra available. He'll say shit that he normally wouldn't say on a normal day to a normal person. All right, he'll do things that he wouldn't normally do for himself, for that woman. That's an easy example of what it's like when you got a woman who has burning desire for you. She will do anything and everything to make you happy. All right, fellas. Now, this is the thing. Every woman is different. All right, fellas. Every single woman is different. So just because I said if a woman has genuine burning desire for you, that she'll cook your meals, that doesn't mean if you meet a woman and she don't cook your meals, that don't mean she don't like you like that. Sometimes that just means she don't know how to cook, or nobody ever taught her how to cook, or she don't know what you like yet, so she's hesitant to cook because she don't want to fuck up the food because she just got that much genuine burning desire for you that she don't want to piss you off. It's case by case. So one thing a lot of you guys got to stop doing is you got to stop taking everything you hear at face value. All right, fellas? Every woman is different. I'll give you an example. I've dated many women in my past. I've dated some women who love and know how to cook. So when they had genuine burning desire for me, they'll cook me meals every goddamn day. And if they couldn't cook me meals, they'll DoorDash me food. Why? Because they took pride in the man eating. That was their way of showing love. I've also dated some women who were city girls. And they made good money and they boss chicks. So their way of showing love was acts of service. So they never really cooked a lot, because they worked all the time. But they sure would buy me a new pair of Jordans every month. All right, fellas? Then I also had women who had no skills at all. All they had was ass. All right, fellas? It's her right here. No skills at all, G, but she had a lot to offer. All right, fellas, and that's how she showed. And this is the part when we talk about how women will be all up on you. I'm talking about touchy-feely, always want to fuck. They always wet, G, when they got the burning desire. Every woman is not like that. Some of these bitches are exhausted with their damn job, so they ain't got time to fuck, but they can't buy you shit. All right, fellas, so you got to pay attention and be present. All right, fellas, something I want to jump to. Let me show you something, fellas. Most men are putting the cart before the horse, all right? I'm not going to lie, G. You are not a simp, or you are not like blue pill for wanting a woman to love you or for you loving a woman. This shit is natural. All you guys who don't like to pull chairs out and open doors, and some of you guys done got to the point where if you hug a woman, you say it's blue pill or it's beta. Gee, something really wrong with you dudes, all right? Ain't nothing wrong for loving and kissing on and caressing a woman, all right, fellas? But let me tell you this. Some of you guys put the cart before the horse, all right? Remember I said, this is you. This is your soul. You should have a burning desire about life. Gee, whatever it is. Gee, I don't give a fuck if it's about art. You need to love yourself and know what you want in life and get to the point where you won't let anything, not even a woman, get in the way of that shit. But some of you guys put the cart before the horse. So what you do is you chase women. All right, fellas, I guarantee you there is no woman on this planet that will stay. She may be at the beginning, but will stay attracted to you if she feels that you want her or you love her or you like her more than she likes you. It can be mutual, that's fine. But if it gets to the point where she knows that you want her more than she wants you, and if push came to shove, she'll leave you before you left her, or if she did leave you, that will break your world, gee, it's over before it starts. All right, fellas, so some of you guys put the cart before the horse and you try to do all this stuff for a woman. You perform, you react, you bend at the knee at her will just to keep this desire or just to try to get it. It's not going to happen like that, all right? Now, we already know that, but let me show you the biggest problem. Remember I said this is you, and this is what you need for real attraction that does not fade unless you fuck it up. A lot of you guys are like this. All right, fellas, you're not burning inside. Some of you guys, you got this ice cube inside, all right? You're real cold inside. And I'm not saying you're cold towards people, but you're cold towards yourself. All right? There's a thing I always talk about called energy, G, all right? And if you don't like yourself, don't expect a woman to like you. If you don't look in the mirror and fall in love with yourself every time you do, don't expect a woman to look at you and fall in love with you every time she look at you. All right, fellas, nobody wants to be around coldness. This flame represents warmth. All right, and that's the feeling you give off. Did I spell this shit right? That's the feeling you give off when people come close to you. Another word is aura. All right, you only get this when you have a burning desire for yourself. But if your energy is low, if your frequency is low, if your vibration is low, if your aura is low, and if you're cold because you don't like yourself and you got this pessimistic attitude about women, about the world, about politics, about life, you will not attract the things you want in your life, i.e. that woman. All right, fellas? So some of you guys are playing a zero-sum game. You're playing backwards. You're putting the cart before the horse, or you don't even know that you're in the goddamn game. Why? Because you're numb. All right, fellas, you done OD'd on red pill content. You done been hurt too many times. Some alpha dude named Trey done took your girl too many goddamn times, so you're looking like a block of ice. All right, fellas? It's just imagery. It's metaphors. All right, fellas? The real desire is within. The question is not, what do I do to raise this woman attraction? It's, who am I? All right? You need to go from doing to being. All right, fellas? You don't have to do shit when you are that thing. Now, let me give you some practical stuff, G, all right? I'm going to show you how to spark this desire in a woman, all right? First thing I'm going to start with is a don't. G, do not try to control a woman's feelings, all right? Remember I said women, as well as their feelings, are like water, all right, G? And what you do with water is you let it flow. I think that's a song, G. Let that shit flow. All right, fellas, I'll give an example. Let's say your girl got an attitude one day for no goddamn reason, all right? Normal day, right? Your girl got an attitude and you trying to figure out why. So you go, babe, what's wrong? Why the long face? And she say nothing. But when she say nothing, simultaneously, she slamming doors, she throwing her hair back, she tooting her ass around, and you can tell that it's really something. Fellas, at that moment, after she told you nothing, it is out of your goddamn control. I know you feel like as a man, you got to step in and start maneuvering shit. Why? Because as a man, your ending goal is the ending goal. You just want the shit to be done. But guess what, fellas? Water doesn't stop flowing. And if it does, the shit gets rotten. And then them bitches turn into the spawn of the devil. All right, fellas? So you got to understand. And I say bitches out of love. But you got to understand, fellas, it is not your job to control a woman's emotions. But it is your job to embody the version of the man who women can't leave. I'll give you an example of a man that women can't leave. I was having this conversation earlier. So you know you guys, when y'all actually get to the bed with a woman, if you ever get that far, but let's say you get that far, and y'all know this little test women do when they take all their clothes off but their bra and panties, and then they tell you to stop, and whole time you trying to figure out what the fuck. If you wanted me to stop, why the hell we get this far? All right, now, there's 3 ways you can respond to this, all right? And these 3 ways are going to determine her level of desire for you after this moment. Because sometimes, G, you can hit it that night if you respond well. All right, fellas? Let me help you understand something, G. Let me land this plane. One guy can get mad. All right, fellas, and he can put his clothes on and leave, or tell her to leave and be like, bitch, why you inviting me over anyway? All right? You can get mad. Now, you definitely ain't going to get it, all right? I'll give you another example. Another guy can be playful. All right, fellas, and laugh it off and be like, you know what? It's all good. All right, fellas. And then the last guy can be sure of himself. All right, this guy's grounded. He's present. He understands that he done got all the way to the bed, got all the way to the bra and panties, and now she telling him to stop. Ain't no way she's serious. All right, that's how sure he is. He's so sure that he'll actually agree. You know what? It's cool. We ain't got to have sex tonight, but we will one day. All right, he's sure of himself. And that level of clarity, fellas, that level of desire and knowing that you're that guy is going to spark her interest. It's going to spark her curiosity. It's going to spark that primitive bone in her that says, this man knows himself. And whether I give it to him or not, he's good. But he's so sure of himself that he know he going to get it anyway, so he ain't sweating it. All right, fellas? That's what you call like the bad boy, whatever the fuck y'all want to call it these days, all right? All that bad boy shit, fellas, that's just you being confident and sure in yourself. How can you do this? You can't fake this shit, all right? Because even if you do what the fuck I just told you on number 3, that shit ain't gonna work. Why? Because energy doesn't lie. If you don't really believe you're that guy, she ain't really gonna believe you're that guy. If you really believe you're that guy, even if you're not that guy, there's a possible chance you can convince her as well. All right, fellas? So you got to understand, energy don't lie. So you got to have a real desire for life, a real desire for your purpose. This is how you get and retain women. You can shortcut the process to get some ass and maybe catch her slipping one day, but I don't recommend that, fellas, all right? The legal system is very complicated, all right? So just do it the right way, all right? The natural way. So the question is, why aren't most women giving you the level of intimacy, desire that you're seeking, right? Because like I said, as men, we can't lie, G. Most men are hopeless romantics. And we just want love at the end of the day. And ain't nothing wrong with that, G. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, the reason why you're not getting it is because you're putting the cart before the horse. All right, G? You're the horse. You're trying to drag you with the cart. What's the cart? Trying to be seen. Looks maxing when you have no depth. Ain't nothing wrong with looks maxing, G. Get some soul, though. All right? Not focusing on yourself. Putting women before your purpose. Going on dates you can't afford. There's a plethora of things that you're putting before you. All right, G, if you don't like yourself, that woman ain't gonna like you. If you don't love yourself, that woman ain't gonna love you. Why does Pookie get it, but you don't? Because Pookie has this narcissistic level of sureness that he think he the shit. All right, Pookie be in his 1-bedroom apartment with his air mattress. All right, getting all the hoes. While your ass made 6 figures and you get no pussy at all. There's a reason behind that. And it would be wise that you investigate this shit. All right, fellas? So I appreciate you guys for tuning in today. Share this video with a homeboy who this will help out. All right, guys? It's your boy, KD. We out here, baby.